The worst type of betrayal is when we betray ourselves. Don't give up on your hopes, your goals, your dreams, the things that you know you need to implement in your life. If you've put up boundaries and people in your life are giving you a hard time about these new boundaries, don't yield. Don't give up. If you are starting a new business, you're going back to school, you're starting a new ministry, do not give up. Do not yield. You can bend, but do not break. If you've decided that you really want to make a change in your life, and I mean real change, you want to experience real joy, real abundance, and live the life that God's called you to live. A lot of times in these seasons, you will be met with resistance. I'm talking about extreme resistance. Internal resistance, where you'll be fighting the change, right? Old traumas and old patterns will come up. You may find yourself isolated in friction from family and friends, finding some troubles at work. Maybe you're trying to start something new and, you're going back to school and it's hard to get financial aid. You're starting a new job and it's hard to really understand the mechanics and the rhythm of things and to get to know your new coworkers. I'm here to tell you that when you are embarking on something new, something meaningful, don't yield. Whether it's trying to kick an addiction, whether it's healing, whether it's getting rid of a toxic relationship and freeing yourself, whether it's getting past old trauma and old wounds, do not yield. If you are pursuing something that you know is right for you in your spirit and in your soul, you know this is a change you need to make, whether it's pursuing a life mission, a goal, or a purpose, do not yield and do not give up. The worst type of betrayal is when we betray ourselves. Don't give up on your hopes, your goals, your dreams, the things that you know you need to implement in your life. If you've put up boundaries and people in your life are giving you a hard time about these new boundaries, don't yield. Don't give up. If you are starting a new business, you're going back to school, you're starting a new ministry, do not give up. Do not yield. You can bend, but do not break. People often, you hear these stories about people at the end of their life, and what are the regrets? The regrets are the times that they yielded. It's the things that they gave up on. And sometimes we are so close to breakthrough, so close to real change, making a real difference. And we lose those opportunities because we yielded. Do not yield. Do not give up on yourself, even if everyone around you tries to get into your head and tries to get you to give up. Do not give up on you. You don't give up on you. Whatever you're going for, whatever you've got in your heart and your mind, especially if it's something that's been around for years, right? If you have like a long-term addiction, or it's a toxic or dysfunctional relationship that you've been trying to leave for a while, these things can be really hard to break. Maybe it's a poverty or scarcity mindset. There is hope and there is breakthrough and there is blessing, but you may have to fight for it. It may mean ignoring every naysayer around you. It may mean certain people in your life you don't share those plans with. You don't let them know about the hopes, dreams, and goals. Maybe you feed them with a long spoon. Maybe you put a bit of distance on them. Maybe you love them, maybe they love you. But you know that they can't be in the innermost parts of your life. this is your life. This is not a rough draft. This is not a dry run. This is it. This is the one shot you get. What you do with it is up to you. God will be there every step of the way. But you can't yield. You gotta stand. When you find yourself under attack, right? So let's say you're trying to break an addiction. Say you're trying to leave a toxic relationship and you find yourself having everything thrown at you. You're trying to get something off the ground, something that you've always wanted to do. You wanted to write a book. You've always wanted to go back to school. You've always wanted to paint. You've always wanted to draw. You've always wanted to dance. And you're going after those things really for the first time in your life. You are going to face opposition. Sometimes it's going to come from the inside. Sometimes it's going to come from people you trust. Sometimes it's going to be a whole string of no's. Sometimes it's going to come from complete strangers. But do not give up. Do not yield. Keep going. The biggest breakthroughs you'll have are not always in one shot. Sometimes it's one foot in front of the other. I know for me, when I was going through a pretty rough period, I remember a quote came across my path one day, and I believe it's been attributed to Winston Churchill, but it says, when you're going through hell, keep going. And I've seen someone comment before, if you're going through hell, keep going, because you don't want to stay in hell, right? You have to keep going. And so sometimes when you're going through the thick of life, it's about putting one foot in front of the other. It's about getting up each day and doing it again. And maybe you faltered. Maybe you were working on something and you didn't do much yesterday, or you didn't do much last week or last month. That doesn't mean you can't restart. That doesn't mean you can't do it all over. You are going to be your own biggest opponent in all of this, in the game of life, in the journey of life, in your healing journey, in your relationships, in your walk. It's going to be how you approach it. Are you willing to fight for you? Are you willing to fight for your own hopes, your own dreams? If you can't stand up for you, I don't know how we can expect someone else to stand up for you if you can't even fight for your own dream. Sometimes you've got to be your own dream, your own goals, and your own change's biggest protector and biggest defender. When you have gone to God and you have really spent time with him and know for a fact a certain thing is what he wants you to do, a certain path is the one that he wants you to walk, don't give in and don't let up. You can rest, but don't throw in the towel. We all get tired along this journey, and that's okay. But don't throw in the towel. Don't give up. Don't yield. I'm rooting for you.